everyone, and welcome to the Halloween cookie tutorial. These are the supplies that you will need to decorate the cookies today. So it's similar to my other tutorials, except for on this one you'll need a paintbrush, just an old paintbrush that you have that's clean, and we're going to be using this. If you do not have an old paintbrush or something that is clean, you can always use a butter knife. So either one. You'll need scissors to cut the end of the bag off. You will need a scribe, or you can also use a toothpick. If you would like a scribe, I sell these in my shop. For the tutorial, if you buy the tutorial, then you get these for $5 a piece. Otherwise, they're $8 in my shop. So let me know if you want one of these. I like to use clips for the end of the bag so that the icing doesn't come out. If you don't have these small clips, you can always use clips that you use to clip chip bags. I like to use a plate. I like to put my frosting on the plate when I'm not using it, or you can decorate with your cookie on your plate. I always like to decorate on a set of paper towels, and I like to have one to the side for mistakes and to clean my scribe off. So let's go over what you get in the cookie kit. So you'll get 4 bags of icing. You will get a dozen cookies. This is going to be a pumpkin, a skeleton, a ghost, and this is a little mason jar with a spider. And then you get 2 bags of sprinkles to use. So once you get your kit, go ahead and give each bag a nice massage to incorporate all the color that might have separated. Just move it around and give it a real good massage. And then when you're done, give it a little whirl, and that helps all the air bubbles go to the top so that your cookies can be nice and smooth. So let's go over some piping etiquette. When you cut the bag, you're going to want your seam straight up, and you're going to want to cut just right here at the bottom of the bag. You want to cut the smallest amount possible, and then you can always go bigger from there. But first, cut the smallest amount possible, and we'll cut those in just a second. When you're piping, when you're decorating, you want the seam up. It helps the icing come out a little bit smoother. Also, when you pipe, you want to have a good grip on the top of the bag. You want that in your palm, and you want to pipe like this, not like this. Also, with the cookie, if you make a section and it's a little bit lumpy or it's not so smooth, you can give your cookie a good shake and it will smooth out the icing a little bit more. You can also, with your scribe, move around the icing to smooth it out, or you can use the tip of your bag to move around the icing to smooth it out and then give it a little shake. And that will help your icing get a little bit smoother. So let's go ahead and get started with decorating. The first cookie that we're going to start with is the ghost. And the supplies you'll need for this is the white, a scribe, and then also your scissors to cut the end of the bag. So to get started, we're going to cut the tip of the bag. And so I'm going to start off and just cut it very small and get the tip to the side. So what I like to do is I like to outline the cookie first, and then I go back and fill it in. So you have a steady pressure, and then I also like to have the line just kind of dragged behind me. If you'll see, I'm not like very close to the cookie like this, making a line. my bag is not touching it, I let it drip and then have the line follow. So that's how you get a little bit of a better line. And then just a consistent pressure. So now we're gonna go ahead and just fill that in. So with this, I'm just I'm closer to the cookie, and then we're going to just fill the cookie in with the white. So now that I have the cookie filled in, you can see that there are lumps and different things. So I'm gonna just kind of smooth that out with the tip of my icing bag. And then I'm going to wipe it off because you don't want the tip to get all gross. And then I'm going to give it that shake that we talked about to get it nice and smooth. So just kind of shake it, and then it should smooth out pretty well, as you can see. You need more icing than not. So fill your cookie up with icing instead of being so, just be generous. You can see how much icing is on mine. So fill it up. Don't be stingy with the icing. If your finger touches it, that's fine. Use your scribe to just kind of smooth it out. So that's going to be our ghost. So go ahead and set that aside, and we need it to dry just a little bit so we can add some more details to it. So next we're going to do the skeleton, and you want to give your bag a good massage to make sure all the color is incorporated. You need your paintbrush. If you don't have a paintbrush, then you can use your butter knife and your scribe. So go ahead and cut the tip off of the black one. You're going to want to cut this very small so that we're going to be doing some piping lines a little bit later, so you want it to be small. So then on your paintbrush, just put a little bit on it, and then just paint over those eyes with the frosting. Use more as needed, but you really want this just close to the cookie. You want this part black, and you want it to be frosted, but you don't want it very high and like piled up. Just a little. So, and then let's do the nose. And I just keep putting a little bit more on it. So I got outside the lines a bit, but you get the idea. So you can do this, or, with your butter knife. Okay, so go ahead and do that, and then set it aside. Let's let it dry for just a little bit. Now for the pumpkin, I'm going to show you a couple of different ways that you can do this one. So the first is you're going to get your black, and you can just put a dollop of black on there, and then you're gonna rub it around with your paintbrush, and then you'll see kind of what we're going to do. So this is one way that you can do it, and the cookie is going to look similar to this, where it has a black background. Okay, so that's one way to do it. And then another way to do the pumpkin is to go ahead and make your design that you want for your pumpkin face. So I'm going to do triangle eyes, and I'm just applying a little bit of pressure, and I steady it with this hand. So I'm doing triangle eyes, and I'm going to do smiley mouth. And I'm going to come back through, and I'm going to make little teeth. And that's all I'm going to do. I'm not going to make a nose. And then I'm going to just fill this in. Doesn't need to be smooth or anything because we're going to put sprinkles on it. Okay, so now with your sprinkles, I don't want to use any of the big balls, but let's get a plate here. I'm going to sprinkle that on there. So with your scribe, go ahead and like move the pieces that didn't get on the black properly and make your triangle sections a little bit better. I've made my sprinkles to look like the shape of the face. So go ahead and take care of that, and then we'll set it aside. The next cookie we are going to decorate is the mason jar. And so you'll need your white, orange, and yellow, and then also your black. So you'll need all 4 colors as well as your scribe. So on the bottom, give your bags a good mix before you start decorating. And on the bottom, we're going to do yellow, then orange, then white. So go ahead and cut the tip of your bag and get started. So on this, again, I have my seam up, and then I'm just going to outline the part that I want to be yellow, which is just down here at the bottom, and then I'm going to fill it in. Let's go ahead and do orange for the middle, and I'm going to cut the tip. And I'm going to outline this part. And then whenever this, you can outline if you want, or I just do a nice squeeze along the line of the other color. So, and then fill this part in. Again, you're just going to outline. And then fill in. Okay, so now with the black, what you're going to do is you're going to kind of outline your mason jar. So you're going to have the seam up, and I'm going to start in this corner, and I'm just going to come down and kind of outline it. So as you can see, my line's kind of breaking. So that means my pressure is not steady, that I need to have a more steady pressure. But that's fine. Sometimes I like the way that looks, so it doesn't matter. And then I'm going to make the top. I'm gonna make kind of like a circle up here. And then gonna make these little indents. And then the little lines just across, just kind of making it look like a mason jar. And I do want these like little dots and things. So there you go. There's your little mason jar. And then we'll come back to this one and add spider webs and a spider. So this is another way to do the mason jar. So you will start with black and you're going to outline your mason jar. And again, I like to have the icing just trailing behind. And then we're going to make that circle up at the top. And then we're also going to go right in the middle and across and across. And you're going to fill this in with black. Now what we're going to do is we're going to fill in the bottom with yellow and then a little bit at the top. So go ahead and fill in the bottom. And then now here at the top, we're going to fill it in a little bit like it's kind of like brewing. So just make little lines. And fill that part in. Now you're going to get your orange, and this is going to be little like bubbles in the potion. So what you're going to do is you're just going to make dots, start off bigger and then get a little smaller and then smaller. So bigger, smaller, smaller. And now what you'll do is you'll go back with the yellow and you'll put a little dot inside that dot, or more like on the side, and it makes it look like it's a bubble. So also make sure you're doing this all while it's still pretty wet instead of dry. And I'm going to leave these ones up here just as is. And I'm also going to just put a line of the orange on the outside. Just give it a little bit of a definition. And then I'm going to add some sprinkles to the potion. Just in the potion part. Not in the black part. Okay, so now what we're going to do is with your white, you're going to make a little crossbones. So it's going to be a little bit bigger up at the top, and then it goes down. That's the head. And then the bones are gonna go down like this. You just cross them. And let's go ahead and put some eyes on this guy. And just not a good face. And you can take your scribe and adjust this as needed. So there's your potion that you should not drink. So let's go back to the skull. I don't know why I can't say it. And outline the eyes, and we're not going to outline the mouth, but I just wanted you to know about where the mouth should be. But the mouth is actually going to be on the white, not around it. So go ahead and outline those eyes, and then outline the whole skull, and then go ahead and fill it in with your white. Once you're done doing that, if it's a little bumpy like mine, give it a little bit of a shake and it should smooth out. If you have these line or bumps, just kind of take your scribe or toothpick, just kind of go over the top. I'm going to extend my frosting to the top a little bit better. And then I'm going to give it another little shake. To smooth out that area. So go ahead and set this to the side, and then we'll add the mouth. I also just did a quick one where if you want the mouth to be flat, then you just outline it like that and then fill it in around. So you have many options on how to do these cookies. Multiple ways of decorating the skeleton, but here's another way that may be considered a little bit spookier. So I have put the black icing down, and then for the eyes, I'm going to make them straight on the top and then like a half circle. So that's obviously very uneven, but I can fix it because I'm going to be filling it in with white. So I need a little bit like that, a little bit like that. So it just makes it look a little bit spookier. Here's my nose. And then for the mouth, I'm gonna make my mouth kind of like this. And then I'm gonna add stitches to it. And then also for the head, I'm gonna make a little spot where it's like maybe a little bit opened and candy's coming out. So now I'm gonna outline it and fill it in. Okay, and now I'm going to add some stitches to the mouth. So I'm just gonna kind of put a thing like, kind of like a smiley, and then I'm going to there. Makes it look a little bit spookier. So then I'm gonna let this dry, and then I'm gonna put a little bit of candy in that spot. There. Okay, so let's head back to the pumpkin that we did with the sprinkles. So what we're going to do is we're going to outline the eyes and the mouth, and then we're going to fill it in around. So go ahead and do that. So then with your stem, I like to just go with the black. I like to just go up, back, and up. So there's your little pumpkin face. So this is another way to do the pumpkin. So you're going to take your orange and you're going to make your pumpkin face, just outline it. So I'm going to do triangles. And then I'm going to make the smile. I'm going to make a tooth on the bottom. Then I'm going to come across and I'm going to make a tooth on the top. A tooth over here. So then you're going to outline the pumpkin, but just on the sides for now, because we're going to make like a little indent. You'll see what I'm talking about. That makes it look like kind of like a pumpkin. And then outline this side. Okay, and then fill those two sides in. Don't go, you know, in the black where you made your face. Go around that and then fill them in. Okay, so let that sit for a little bit and then we'll fill in the middle. And you'll see why we did that. It's going to give it little lines on the side like a pumpkin. So go ahead and set that aside. This is another way of how to do the pumpkin. I put black all over it, and then I'm going to write out boo, the word boo. So here's going to be my B. And then let's add the top, just with the black, back and forth. And then I like to give it little cute curly cues. There it is, boo. Okay, now back to our ghost. What we're going to do is just kind of right in the middle, we're going to make like a little pumpkin basket. So just make a half circle and then fill that in like that. With your black, you're going to make a little basket handle up on the top. Like that. So also, then we're going to make this little ghost some eyes. So what we're going to do is we're going to put a dot of black and then a little tiny dot of white in the eye. So make sure that the tips of your bags are nice and clean, and you can also use your scribe for this if you'd like. So go ahead and figure out where you want to put the eyes, and then do a nice dot of black. And then sometimes even if I made the hole in my white too big, which I did, I like to put a little dab on my scribe and then make the dot. So I like to put mine like kind of up in the corner, like so. Then also we can go ahead and add like a little smiley face, or you can add eyelashes, you know, to the side. I think it always looks good with just 2 eyelashes, but sometimes that can be difficult. And then let's add, I just like a little tiny smile, just right in the middle. And let's let this dry. You can always use your scribe to change how things look, but let's let this dry, and then we'll add the arms. And we'll add a little bit of candy in the basket. So here's another way of how to make a ghost. If you don't want the cute little basket ghost, you can add a mouth, and you're gonna just go down and make it like an O and fill that in. And then the eyes, just dots with no white. So that's another way that you can make the ghost. Just like that, simple, sweet, cute. Oh. So now go ahead and get your mason jar cookie, and we're going to finish this one up. So what we're going to do is we're going to add some spider webs and a spider. So let's first put our spider web here, and what you're going to do is you're going to just make some lines. And then you're going to go back and up a little bit for the spider web, just connecting each one. So it makes a little spider web. And then let's put our spider here. So I'm going to make a big dot, and I'm going to use my scribe to kind of make it a good circle. And I'm going to add another little dot here for the head of it. And then I want that to dry just a little bit so that the legs don't get too connected. But then I'm going to make like a spider web line up to here. Let's put another spider web down here. And then for the spider's legs, you're just gonna go 2 out, 2 to the front, and then whoop, 2 to the back on both sides. So there you go, there's your little spider. You could add some of the little white dots to it if you wanted as little eyes. Or the yellow dots, whatever. I'm gonna leave mine like that. So that's the little mason jar. Let's go back to the pumpkin and fill in the middle part. Okay, so there's your little pumpkin, and then on the top I like to use black, and I just will go up and down. So there's your pumpkin. You can also do like a little swirl if you want. You know, something like that. Kind of adds a little touch. So there you go, there's your little pumpkin. So now we'll go back to our skeleton face. So we're going to just add the mouth. If you remember what the mouth somewhat looked like. But you could really make whatever kind of mouth you want. So I also have my frosting just kind of draped behind. And then I'm going to make like little stitches. So you just start off on one side and touch down, and then go to the next side, touch down. So little pressure, and then lift your pressure off. So that's going to be the skeleton. Now back to our little ghost. We're going to add arms, and that's really easy. Or actually, let's add maybe some candy to her bag. So I'm going to put just a little layer of frosting down so that the candy, the sprinkles will stick to it. So just do whatever you want here, but sometimes I like to choose, which ones to put in there. Use your scribe to get the ones you want and the ones you don't want. So then now she has like a little bag of candy. And now we're going to add the arms. The arms are just very easy. You're just going to put it up close to the basket and then just squeeze. And again, just squeeze up on the other side. Try to make them even, but that's that. You can also add a little bow, which would be really cute, to the top if you want. So you'll just make a triangle, and then a triangle, and then you need to let that rest, and then you'll do the dot in the middle. But if you do the dot now, then it won't look so bow-like. So set this one aside and let it rest. So once you've let this one dry a little bit, you can go ahead and fill the little crack up here. I'm gonna fill it with some black, and then I'm gonna put some candy sprinkled in it, and I'm gonna put an eyeball right to the side. Sometimes I like to place certain ones, and then other times you just sprinkle it in there. So I think it would look good too to add some stitches just right around that area. So that it looks like it's an opening. So I think that looks good, and then I think right over here I'm just gonna make some stitches. So you just do a line and then just go across the top. There you go. So this is your little spookier skeleton.